So it's gonna be an interesting one here. This year will be huge for Classic. Let's check this out.
Everyone loves a fresh release, right? It gets everyone leveling together, it resets the economy, and it gives you the chance to roll something different and really play the game through and see it in a new way. Now, over the past few months in the community, there's been this growing sentiment of wanting new, fresh experiences in the classic World of Warcraft scene. But as we well know, Blizzard have been pretty quiet recently on the classic side and have been putting a lot of focus on the recent retail expansion, the war.
Dude, I'm actually so surprised at how little information there is about Kata. It seems to me like they straight up just forgot Kata existed.
But things in the WoW universe these days tend to rotate around a bit.
It's pretty crazy.
They're going to get back around to Classic pretty soon. And after all, the idea behind Fresh, whatever expansion you're talking about, has always been pretty popular in Classic. And something may just be happening relatively soon. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit. So today we're going to be discussing what's been happening in the community and what may possibly be happening for World of Warcraft's 20th anniversary.
Okay.
But first, a quick word from today's sponsor, Hello.
Wait, is that why everybody is so...
HelloFresh. I'm sure you've heard of HelloFresh by now.
Is that why that they're... Because I heard everybody talking about that freaking, like, hardcore, like, fresh meme or fresh whatever.
Because they're America's #1 meal kit delivery service.
Is it really?
Fresh ingredients to your door at affordable prices.
Damn.
HelloFresh offer a wide variety of...
I actually tried HelloFresh for stream. We had like a sponsor with it. It's honestly decent. My only gripe with it is that it's quite overpriced. But I guess it's the ease of not buying the food yourself.
Where it makes the difference, though.
You know, you're paying for the comfort, I guess, not having to buy food.
It's for saving time, getting on track with better eating,
or thinking of recipes. The recipes are good, honestly.
Worth a try. And if you check out my link, you'll be able to save a bunch while you do so.
It's not bad.
Go to my link and use code WILLYSEP10 and receive 10 free meals and free breakfast for life. That'll be 1 breakfast item per box whilst your subscription is active if you're in the US.
They have some crazy like deals actually. Like you get so much. I guess it's because they want you to kind of like get used to using it, so they give you like freaking like $100 worth of free food to like hopefully that you will keep using it.
If not, it's okay. The link and code are still valid in all countries, and your respective local discount will apply. Many thanks to HelloFresh for sponsoring today's video.
It's actually a decent sponsor.
Let's get on back to WoW. So as you may already know, retail has had their 20-year anniversary event announced. They've got a new Gates of Anchorage World event, a BRD raid, a Tier 2 revamp, and so on and so forth. Just tons of memorable stuff from the past. And
it's gonna be BRD with 8 bosses, like 8 new unique bosses. That's so crazy.
20 years of World of Warcraft as an MMO is kind of a big deal because World of Warcraft released on the 23rd of November 2004. And it's landing on a strange year because, as we already know, there will not be a BlizzCon. You would think this would be one of the biggest moments in recent memory for Blizzard to celebrate. Then again, I hear the last BlizzCon alongside the Microsoft takeover wasn't as smooth of an event as things usually are.
Really? I feel like it was quite fun. Maybe it's because it was my first BlizzCon, but I don't know, I kind of enjoyed BlizzCon. I had fun.
But then again, I wasn't there. But alongside 20 years for
I enjoyed myself.
It's been 5 for Classic since we restarted our journey in September 2019. In fact, it's going to be quite a bit more than 5 years by the time we get to November. And Blizzard typically do something each 5 years. Do you remember Onyxia and Wrath of the Lich King? That was World of Warcraft's 5-year anniversary event. During Warlords of Draenor, they brought back Molten Core as a raid for the 10-year event, and for 15 years in BFA, they had a big Time Walking event. So to have 5 years of Classic and 20 years of World of Warcraft and just to do, well, nothing doesn't quite make sense. I don't believe they've even given a mention to Classic turning 5 years old, and there's just been the occasional post popping up here and there on Reddit. I did make a video talking about everything that's happened in Classic to get us where we are today, but it just feels as though there should be something else, something a bit more official. So Classic hasn't seen anything new yet, but I think there is a relatively good possibility that towards November 2024, there's going to be something new. So what?
I don't know, man. I really love Classic, man, but it feels It feels like we're just on constant copium that, guys, come on, man. Fresh will be soon. Oh, it's gonna happen, guys. They're gonna do it for us, you know? Yeah, all these anniversary stuff was always for retail, but that's because Classic didn't exist back then, right? But now it does, so that's why people maybe think that that's the case.
What's the deal and why?
Because let's be honest, the big cash cow of WoW is retail at this point. Especially with how successful War Within is, right? Maybe they have just less resources for Classic, I don't know.
I think there'll be something new. So you may have heard of the streamer guild that plays hardcore World of Warcraft called OnlyFangs. Now initially they were planning to start again in October and this was announced some time ago. But GM Sodapoppin delayed it, saying that there is a very legitimate reason to delay things until November. But
hey guys, I know we plan on doing OnlyFangs in October, however, good news and bad news. There's a very legitimate reason that we should start in November. I cannot get into details, but please trust me that this is 100% the best call for everyone. So that is what we're going to do. It does look sus. Like, the way that's timed looks like really sus.
But he didn't elaborate any further on that.
Yeah.
There was a supposed leak afterwards saying that there will be a fresh server, but ultimately, what other reason would there be to delay things? Either Blizzard has already planned some kind of event which would fit in, or that it's just straight up going to be new servers and it would be worthwhile to wait. Especially,
I mean, hasn't it been leaked like 5 times already that we will have hardcore fresh servers? Yes, but I just don't see the reason for why we should have fresh hardcore. If anything, just give fresh era, right?
Actually, when November...
Why again fresh era? There's not been a fresh era.
Is the big anniversary month. At the same time, part of me thinks it would be strange for it to just be potentially a fresh hardcore server though. I mean, out of every variation of Classic that we have, hardcore benefits from a fresh the least by an absolute mile. I mean, by default, hardcore resets player progression very often. It's more leveling driven than endgame, and as a result, there's not as much fear as missing out due to people not worrying about being behind the curve because they're never even getting to the new content in the first place. And you can start whenever and it'll be pretty popular. The only big benefit to resetting hardcore and doing a fresh would of course be a economy reset and the ability to have another 1 to 60 Road to Ragnaros event, which to be fair has been done twice now. So,
but you can still do it though. I don't understand.
It seems like hardcore may be getting a fresh, but would that be it for the 5-year announcement? What if there is more to it? As you've probably noticed now, Blizzard are doing a lot to keep people in the World of Warcraft sphere when it comes to new game experiences. Since Classic's release in 2019, across World of Warcraft as an IP, we have had the latter half of BFA, Classic, Classic Era, TBC Classic, Season of Mastery, Shadowlands, Wrath Classic, Hardcore Servers, Dragonflight, Season of Discovery, Plunderstorm, Cataclysm Classic, and The War Within.
Bro, this is actually insane. Like when it's written like this is fucking insane. He didn't even mention the Mob remix, by the way. Yeah, there's also Mob remix in this. Dude. And you played all of them? Yep. I have played every single one of these, except Era. That is crazy.
I think that's everything. Usually in the space of 5 years, we'd get what? Around 3 expansions and we'll be in the second half of the third one. And
I feel like that's why I'm struggling so much with playing all the versions, because it's just been so much WoW content. Like, if I gotta keep up with Sod and Kata and Hardcore and Retail, like, bro, that's so much WoW. It's, like, crazy.
Now we have, I think I just listed 13 things there, that's quite a bit more. And there's a lot of upcoming content for WoW too. You're gonna have Phase 5 of Season of Discovery, you're gonna have Firelands and Cataclysm, and for retail you've had Season 1 start recently, you're gonna have Mythic Plus, you've got the Race to World First, and you're gonna have the 20-year anniversary event. So there's definitely more than just a few things on the horizon.
Oh yeah.
But my question is whether this anniversary will mark something more permanent for the future of Classic.
Interesting.
Because it's no secret, people, when it it comes to classic versions of the game ask for fresh more or less constantly. It just gets the more rising demand the longer time goes on, whether that's been for vanilla, TBC, or whichever expansion really. And maybe this 20-year event will be the opportunity to set in stone a rotation of expansions to meet that constant demand for fresh. It's worked for other types of servers for years now, and people are starting to miss some older expansions. Most notably, TBC is the one I read about all the time. Perhaps it's some kind of rotational server where it will be 1 year of vanilla into 1 year of TBC into 1 year of Wrath.
I think that's how you will please people, man. That's literally it.
Not sure where the characters would go afterwards, to be honest, but
just kill them. Kill the characters. They die. They fall into a deep dark hole at the end of Wrath and they all get obliterated and then they start fresh again. Yeah. That's it.
The idea of a rotational set of realms is something which is gaining popularity. And it doesn't have to be 1 year either. I know people are going to get super caught up on how fast or slow progression should be. But thinking back a bit, Blizzard hired Holly Longdale back in 2020 to the Classic team. She's now moved all the way up to executive producer, which is way beyond just Classic. But she used to work at Daybreak Games on EverQuest, where they had time-locked progression servers. And for some of these servers, players could vote on whether an expansion should launch. For World of Warcraft, it would be more when should a patch release. For example, where they've been in phase 1 of vanilla for 2 or 3 months, a vote is held, and then if it passes 75% in favor, phase 2 would happen. I always thought part of her hiring for the Classic team would be her experience in running legacy servers in an MMO in this fashion, and seeing how that would fit for World of Warcraft. So I'm a bit surprised we haven't had this happen yet, but maybe the fact that there aren't rolling servers yet which are offering this experience is kind of telltale that they thought about it internally and came up with a decision of nah, we're not going to do that.
I feel like the Classic is just in a weird limbo right now. Yeah, I think the way that OSRS does it as well is really, really awesome, actually. I've been getting so many old school RuneScape videos recommended to me lately, and it's making me actually want to try it one day. I'm not gonna lie, but apparently there's a mob Classic vote going on at the moment. I don't know. I think for me, I don't really have any like big desire for mob. Because to me, that's like, okay, raids is cool. Like that's the you know, it's the PvE content that's amazing. But why don't I just play War Within then and the current content? Because that's like new, fresh, you know, PvE that's getting released with new content, right? That's how I see it. So I don't really have a big personal desire for mob. Maybe some people do, and if people want it, sure, give it to them. I have no problem with that. Mob is different than retail, different talents, different class balance. Very true, but I don't know. I don't think I don't really have a memory of playing it because I didn't play it, so I don't really have any nostalgic feelings towards it, and I don't know. I did Throne of Thunder and stuff like that on the Mob remix, and it was pretty fun, but I don't know if I would enjoy, like, progressing and raiding Mob. I'm not sure. This is how I see it. Retail has become a hack and slash game, nothing to do with WoW at all. If you view WoW as vanilla WoW, for sure, definitely not anything to do with it, yeah.
I'm honest as well, I think their popularity will be pretty...
Yeah, maybe I would like it then. Who knows? Maybe I would enjoy it. Yeah, perhaps I would have a lot of fun with it, you know? Question mark? No, I think that's a fair argument to make. If you think WoW, if WoW to you is vanilla WoW, then for sure War Within is not gonna be your cup of tea. It is still World of Warcraft, but it's two vastly different games, right? I wouldn't say it's hack and slash, no, but it's a different game than what you think WoW is, right, I guess.
Up in the air. I think it's going to be your typical 1 to 2 months of hype, and then the majority of people are going to move on. And as we've already talked about, even in just the sphere of World of Warcraft, there's something constantly on the horizon coming up. I think people who play and replay the same MMO in the same way again and again have never been a huge population. I think most people want that first time experience. They say, okay, I've done that, and then they move on and play it again in 5 or 6 years. I mean, think about some of your favorite games in whatever genre it may be. How often do you really replay?
They got Thoradel.
them, if indeed you do at all. Then again, you could say Classic was always meant to be the everlasting, mostly unchanged version of World of Warcraft in the first place. At least Vanilla has had that treatment with Classic Era, so why not TBC, or why not Wrath of the Lich King? And
I don't think TBC and Wrath has the same appeal to a lot of players as Vanilla does. I don't think so. I know Warmane is very popular, but I think in terms of like an everlasting server like that, Vanilla has the most grounds. TBC does. Perhaps with Arena, perhaps, but I feel like Vanilla has a lot stronger of a community in regards to it, right?
Classic Era has only seen growth over its lifetime, from being totally dead when it first released, to nowadays having a pretty steady population.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Huge compared to other versions of WoW, don't get me wrong, but there's definitely a crowd of people who want that. Even during Season of Discovery, Classic Era has still been going, because people can go and have that original experience.
Yeah.
And biggest of all, they know that their character isn't going to go anywhere, no matter how long they stop playing, as everything in the game is already out, and of course it's not a seasonal server where one day it's going to close and your character's going to be forced to go somewhere else. When you make something on that permanent realm, it's permanent, and I think people really like that. But
Yeah,
overall,
fair.
for November, it does seem as though there will at least be something happening for the hardcore version of World of Warcraft, but I think there's a very real possibility that there is a bit more to it than just that. As for what this bit more could be, I'd have to lean towards the possibility of more legacy server options, or perhaps fresh releases for expansions that we've already gone through. There are definitely questions to be asked though, as for how Blizzard will end up doing things if this does happen. I see people asking very often, is it too late to start? Am I behind the curve? And so on. And if the servers were happening in a progressive fashion from Vanilla through Wrath of the Lich King, let's say you only had time to start late on in Vanilla, well, it's going to be over 2 years till the next fresh, which is a pretty long wait, I have to say. Then again, if servers ran in a parallel fashion where all three options were available simultaneously, you've now created a scenario where people have a conflict of choice as for which one they want to play. Which ones are most popular, which one's having the new releases, where is your guild at, and so on and so forth.
It's so much. Like, I'm just getting reminded of those like private server websites where you could scroll down the websites and there would be like a billion ones, 255 level, hide your leveling road, custom PvP, like PvP server. Like, I don't know, man. It's so much.
Not really a scenario here where everyone is happy with the outcome. It would just be which choice would make the most people want to come back to the game and stay on it. If indeed this happens, and this is a big if. Or perhaps it's just going to be something commemorative, albeit small, which, to be fair, is usually what anniversary events are for. So what do you think? What do you reckon is going to happen realistically in November? And what do you hope is going to happen in your ideal world? What do you want to see announced? Let me know.
Dude, it's so hard to say, man. I still firmly don't think there will be a fresh hardcore, because I still don't see the reasoning for it. Because why would they do a hardcore fresh when they can do an era fresh? I feel like a lot more people have a desire to see that. Because hardcore, you can go play hardcore. It's not the same kind of a thing, right? If anything, they should just merge the hardcore servers into one. So there's like one hardcore server on EU and one on NA. And just have it like that. You know, because people kind of play on the same one anyway. And hardcore can kind of be done whenever.
In the comments down below. And, as always, thank you all so much for watching.
It's interesting though, but
I'll see you all in the next one very soon.
I don't know what's gonna happen, man. It's so hard to really, at this point, like... It's in a weird limbo right now, and Classic is very split at this point because there's so many versions of it. So what are we gonna get? I don't know. This is pirate software. You guys know the hacker? Let's see here.
They were telling Esvin about it. I'm good buddies with Esvin. I'll reach out to him and find out what more he knows. We've been talking about Classic WoW. Should be something fun. We're gonna be playing hardcore Classic WoW together if they open another server. Yeah.
Dude, at this point, it's so many people talking about it. And that's why it's so confusing to me. So are they doing it? Why do so many people say that? First there's the Sony thing, and now the pirate software thing. Like, if they're opening... Dude, that like...
Another server. another server.
Literally nothing clip. I don't know. Probably not. They just asked streamers to talk about to build hype. That's my opinion. Guys, it's not some big pyramid scheme, okay? You think I'm sitting here also pretending not to know anything just to make more people like worried about it? I don't know. Bro. I'd play it if. Nice clip. I don't know, man. I don't know, dude.